It's a Wednesday. I just got home from school at around 3:15 p.m. It wasn't my easy school day because I have A days and B days, and on A days I have one 80-minute class in the morning, and then it's basically just nothing throughout the rest of the day. But on B days, that's my school day where I have 4 different 80-minute classes with just an 80-minute break in between for lunch and study hall. And the last class of that day is my AP calculus class, and boy do I need to pay attention every single second in that class just to get a 55 on my next exam. No, seriously, I don't fool around in that class at all, and I got a 55 on one of my exams. Luckily, I was able to retake it and get it up to a 75. And after being at school from around 7:30 a.m. to 15 o'clock, bet you guys don't know what that is. I'm so cool for using military time. I got my work clothes on. I headed off for my 3:30 to 7:30 work shift at Starbucks, so you know I'm very popular. Once I get home around 7:45 p.m., I say hi to my family for the first time of the day because you know I get up so early that my family doesn't need to see me. Usually I still see my dad though, but it's the first time I'm saying hi to my mom and my sister. I talk with them for like 5 to 10 minutes. Usually they're watching a show. Right now they're watching Dexter, so I come into the house, put my coat on the hanger, and then see them watching Dexter. They pause it for 10 minutes to ask about my day. When we're done with that, I go eat something, spend like 30 minutes watching some YouTube videos or something, go upstairs, take a shower, and I get in bed around 9:15 p.m. to wake up the next day at 7 to restart the cycle. Now you might hear this story and be like, Dylan, that's kind of normal. I mean, a lot of people your age do that type of stuff. And well, I think that's the major issue that we're having in America today, that no one is really talking about. And that is working while you're in high school. So to get something straight, you need to work as a teenager in the US, both socially and because your parents are either forcing you or heavily encouraging you. That's me, I'm in that situation. But even if your parents don't enforce it on you, I mean, how are you supposed to have fun with your friends when you go out? I mean, either your parents gotta hand over a couple 20s to you, or you gotta get a job. My parents personally did hand over a couple 20s for like a year or two. I mean, I only hung out with my friends outside of school like once a month, so it wasn't too expensive, but I'm still grateful for them basically covering for me not having a job. And you know, the older folk are always saying that, you know, you gotta get a job in high school. You gotta learn some responsibility. It's your first step towards maturing and becoming an adult and taking on your own challenges. Now, I agree with a lot of older folk. I think for a lot of people, getting a job can be a really good idea. It's the first time in your life, for most people, that you'll have to act like an independent person without the oversight of your parents. What you say, do, and act is mostly just between you and your work. And it's because of those benefits that I think working during the summer is a really good idea for basically any high schooler from a low income to a high income background. But working during the school year, that's where I think it can get problematic. And that problem is from the limited free time you're gonna have. Like, let's just think about it this way for a minute. So right here, we got a 24 hours for our imaginary student here. So the first thing you should keep in mind is that the average student spends around 8 hours on schoolwork. And this is a mix of 7 hours of actually being in school and around an hour a day on homework. So right there, 8 hours of your time taken up with school. Then we'll add in maybe like 30 minutes for transportation. Cause you know, like 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back. Highly variable for every student. Could be 5 minutes, could be 50 minutes. All depends on your situation, but I'm gonna go with 15 as an average here. So that gives you 8.5 hours in total, which is about what you're doing for a 9 to 5 between work and transportation. In my home state of New York, students can only work 4 hours on school days, so let's just draw that in too. And then let's just make sure to add in that 30 minutes of transportation. So we got right here, 8 hours, 30 minutes, 4 hours, 30 minutes. So that's bringing you to 13 hours of work, school, and transportation. Like, that already seems crazy, but let's add in one more factor that a lot of students are forgetting, and this could be a reason why. Sleep. When I looked into the average amount of time a teenager should sleep, I got around 9 hours. But that's literally sleeping. That's not laying down in bed. And so usually you're supposed to add around an hour extra of being in bed in order to hit your sleep goal. So that means the average teenager is supposed to be in bed around 10 hours a day. So let's just draw that in. Now it's not drawn totally to scale. I did not get a 100 in my art class, but according to my time estimates, your average student is getting roughly 1 hour of their day for themselves. If they want to have the right amount of sleep, if they want to do good in school, and they want to work as much as possible. So instead of, getting 5 hours, like both of these blocks here, in order to, start a YouTube channel or try a business or try a hobby or, try an intern if you've seen it in my recent videos, what are you supposed to do? Like for my personal story that I was talking about earlier, it's like school 7 to 3, work 3:30 to 7:30, and then 7:30 to 8 I'm like hanging out with my family and eating food. Around 8:30 I go take a shower, brush my teeth, wash my face, get around 9 o'clock, and it's time to get in bed because I need to be in bed 10 hours in order to sleep 9 hours because I gotta wake up around 7. Just a very jam-packed schedule, and I don't think that's very good. I don't know. Oh, Dylan, you don't understand though. The kids are getting paid. And I'm allowed to say the kids because, I'm 18 now. And they're learning responsibility, and they're learning all these life skills, and they're maturing, they're getting ready for adulthood. Perhaps that is true, but it may be better for summer and college breaks because there are some major downsides to be aware of. First, you got less time with your friends, less time with your family, hobbies can be pursued, more frequent bad decisions, and no time for business or hustles. I know so many friends who basically go to school, go to work, and that's all they do. They rarely even have time to hang out with friends on the weekends even, because they're busy working 8-hour shifts, say 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and how are you meant to do anything with your friends with a schedule like that? My schedule can vary quite a lot, but when it's super compact, not being able to see my family is the hardest for me. Sometimes I'm scheduled 4 or 5 weekdays in a week, like I am now as I was writing this script. But I ended up getting the flu, so I didn't actually work any of those days. But not being able to spend any time with my family for 4 straight days, it just doesn't feel great. Like the feeling of coming home and just seeing all your family together and then knowing that you were there and missed it all and you have to get ready for bed. That's not great. Like they try to make it better by pausing their show for 5 to 10 minutes to talk to me. Maybe I'm just really connected to my home and have a good family, so I want to be with them, and that's not an experience that everyone has. But when most people want to see their family more than 1 hour per weekday, same could be said with friends, because how are you supposed to do anything after school if you're working all the time? And then you could be working weekends too, and then you're really in a tough spot. Another big one are hobbies and business because of, this YouTube channel. I want to put thousands and thousands of hours into this channel because over time that's what you need in order to be successful. But it's tough when you only have an hour on a weekday. Because say I put in 5 hours during the weekdays and like 10 hours on the weekends, that's only 15 hours a week. And when other people put in 60, 70 hours per week, how am I supposed to keep up? I've got a choice of either sacrificing channel growth or sacrificing sleep. And that's just not a decision I like making. The overarching problem of all of these is that too much of your time is scheduled away and locked up to pursue other paths. It's tough to have a lot of freedom when you're only left with 1 hour a day on school days to do what you want. Life is never a straight, in my opinion, boring path. There's passions that will come to fruition, but also ones that will vanish. Life events you could never imagine, and circumstances that sneak up on you. You should have a little bit of free time set aside so that you can be more adaptable in your life. I personally think humans' adaptability is their best trait by far. There's stories of people who spend their whole lives living in a city, and then through crazy circumstances they end up having to live in the wilderness or the country for a few months. And they adapt. They become a totally different person. They go from the stereotypical city dweller to someone who can live on their own and live in a big open area without a lot of civilization around. I think the big solution here is that you should work during the summer because that's when you have a large amount of free time. And then if you're a college student, if your classes are easy enough, you work during that time. And then college also has a lot of long breaks and you can work during that time. and make enough money to handle down the student loan debt. If you're still gonna have a job, get a reduction in your hours on the weekdays, or look for a higher paying job where you can have less hours. I know I personally can get pretty comfy in the job I have and not want to do all that job searching BS. It's like sometimes when a guy gets married and he's just so happy he doesn't have to date anymore, but you should still do it. There still might be better options for things you might enjoy more or get paid more. Let me know if y'all think I am just talking absolute crazy right now, or if I'm on to something. But I do have one last thing to say. Make sure to work during the summer, create free time, and think better. I'll catch you over in my next video.